Henry John Temple 1855–1858. The mid-19th century was a pivotal period in British history marked by significant political, social, and economic changes. The nation was grappling with the aftermath of the Industrial Revolution, which had transformed the once agrarian society into an industrial powerhouse. This era was characterized by the rise of the working class, the expansion of suffrage, and the intensification of geopolitical rivalries on the global stage. Politically, the two dominant parties were the Whigs and the Tories, each representing distinct ideological and societal interests. The mid-19th century saw the Whigs, who later evolved into the Liberal Party, advocating for constitutional reforms, free trade, and individual liberties. Concurrently, the Tories, later known as the Conservative Party, championed traditional values, social order, and a conservative approach to governance. In the midst of this dynamic political landscape emerged a statesman whose influence would shape the trajectory of British politics, Henry John Temple, 3rd Viscount Palmerston. Born in 1784 into a prominent aristocratic family, Palmerston entered politics at a young age and quickly ascended the ranks within the Whig Party. Known for his charisma, diplomatic prowess, and pragmatic approach, Palmerston earned a reputation as a formidable political figure. Palmerston's earlier political career included notable positions such as Secretary at War and Foreign Secretary. His tenure in these roles provided him with valuable experience in military matters and foreign affairs, setting the stage for his later leadership as Prime Minister. The years 1855 to 1858 witnessed Lord Palmerston's ascendancy to the position of Prime Minister, a critical juncture in British history. His leadership during this period was marked by a unique combination of assertive foreign policies, strategic domestic reforms, and a charismatic, hands-on approach to governance. At a time when Britain faced challenges both at home and abroad, Palmerston's leadership style became synonymous with stability, pragmatism, and an unwavering commitment to the nation's interests. The significance of Palmerston's tenure lies in his ability to navigate complex geopolitical scenarios, implement progressive domestic policies, and maintain political stability during a transformative era. As we delve deeper into the specific aspects of his leadership during 1855 to 1858, a clearer understanding of Palmerston's enduring impact on Victorian Britain will unfold. Henry John Temple, later known as Lord Palmerston, was born on October 20, 1784, into an aristocratic and politically influential family. His upbringing was characterized by privilege and education, typical of the British aristocracy during the 18th century. His father, Henry Temple, 2nd Viscount Palmerston, was a prominent politician, and the young Palmerston inherited both his family's title and a deep-seated interest in politics. Educated at Harrow School and later at St. John's College, Cambridge, Palmerston developed a keen intellect and a strong foundation in classical studies. His early education played a crucial role in shaping his worldview and instilling in him the values that would guide his political career. Palmerston's entry into politics came at a relatively young age. In 1807, at the age of 23, he entered the House of Commons as the Member of Parliament, MP, for Newport on the Isle of Wight. His early political career was marked by his alignment with the Whig Party, where he found a platform to advocate for constitutional reforms and liberal principles. Palmerston's political acumen became evident as he quickly rose through the ranks. In 1809, he was appointed as Secretary at War, a position that marked the beginning of his involvement in military affairs. His tenure in this role during a critical time of conflict with Napoleonic France showcased his administrative skills and laid the foundation for his future roles in government. Palmerston's rise to prominence within the Whig Party was characterized by a combination of political skill, strategic alliances, and a commitment to Whig principles. Throughout the early 19th century, he held various important positions, including Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Home Secretary. His pragmatic approach to governance, emphasis on diplomacy, and willingness to engage with both domestic and international issues contributed to his growing influence within the party. By the mid-1830s, Palmerston had become one of the leading figures in the Whig Party, earning the respect of his peers and the trust of influential leaders. His reputation for effective administration and diplomatic finesse set the stage for his later role as Prime Minister. The early chapters of Palmerston's political career laid the groundwork for the statesmanship and leadership that would define his tenure as one of the most influential figures in Victorian politics. The mid-19th century was a tumultuous period in global affairs, and Britain found itself at the center of complex geopolitical dynamics. The aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars had reshaped the European landscape, and the rise of new powers, technological advancements, and colonial rivalries added layers of complexity to international relations. As the Prime Minister of Britain from 1855 to 1858, Lord Palmerston navigated this intricate web of global affairs with a keen understanding of the balance of power. His foreign policy initiatives were shaped by a commitment to safeguarding British interests, promoting stability, and ensuring the nation's place as a leading global power. Palmerston's diplomatic strategies were characterized by a blend of pragmatism, assertiveness, and a commitment to maintaining a balance of power in Europe. A firm believer in realpolitik, he sought to protect British commerce, expand the influence of the British Empire, and ensure the security of the nation. Palmerston was known for his dynamic and hands-on approach to diplomacy, often directly involving himself in negotiations and international affairs. One of his key goals was to uphold the principles of free trade, recognizing its economic benefits for Britain. Palmerston actively pursued commercial treaties and diplomatic agreements that would open up new markets for British goods and secure favorable trade conditions. Additionally, he aimed to strengthen alliances with like-minded nations and maintain a robust naval presence to safeguard British maritime interests. The Crimean War, 1853 to 1856, Palmerston assumed the role of Prime Minister during the latter part of the Crimean War, a conflict that pitted the Ottoman Empire, France, and Britain against Russia. While the war predated Palmerston's premiership, his government played a crucial role in its resolution. The Treaty of Paris in 1856 marked the end of the war and secured favorable terms for Britain, solidifying Palmerston's reputation as a skillful diplomat. Diplomatic success in China. Palmerston's tenure saw successful diplomatic efforts in the Far East, particularly in China. The conclusion of the Second Opium War in 1858 resulted in the Treaty of Tientsin, which expanded trade relations, opened additional Chinese ports to British merchants, and further established British influence in the region. The neutrality of the American Civil War. During the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865, Palmerston pursued a policy of neutrality, avoiding direct involvement in the conflict between the Union and the Confederacy. This stance preserved British economic interests and helped maintain stability in Anglo-American relations. The Orsini Affair. Palmerston faced challenges in relations with France during the Orsini Affair in 1858. Despite tensions arising from an attempt to assassinate Napoleon III, Palmerston's diplomatic finesse helped prevent a serious deterioration of Anglo-French relations. Palmerston's adept handling of these foreign policy challenges showcased his diplomatic skill and contributed to Britain's reputation as a formidable global player during a transformative period in international relations. His legacy in foreign affairs remains significant, and the key achievements during his prime ministership underscore the enduring impact of his strategic approach to diplomacy. As Prime Minister from 1855 to 1858, Lord Palmerston demonstrated a pragmatic and hands-on approach to domestic issues, recognizing the need for reforms to address the challenges of the time. His leadership was marked by a commitment to maintaining internal stability, fostering economic growth, and responding to the evolving social and cultural landscape. Palmerston's approach to domestic issues was characterized by a blend of liberal principles and a recognition of the need for governmental intervention in certain areas. He understood the interconnectedness of domestic and foreign affairs, aiming to create a cohesive and prosperous society that could contribute to Britain's strength on the international stage. Free trade advocacy. Palmerston was a strong advocate of free trade, believing that it would stimulate economic growth and enhance Britain's global competitiveness. He worked to dismantle protectionist measures and pursued policies that aimed at reducing tariffs and promoting open markets. These efforts contributed to the expansion of British trade and the economic prosperity of the nation. Financial reforms. Palmerston's government implemented various financial reforms to address economic challenges. Notably, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Sir George Cornwall Lewis, introduced measures to improve the efficiency of public finances. These reforms included efforts to streamline government expenditures, improve tax collection, and enhance fiscal responsibility. Railway development. The mid-19th century witnessed a boom in railway construction, and Palmerston's government actively supported the expansion of the railway network. This not only facilitated economic development but also contributed to improved transportation, communication, and social connectivity across the country. Education reforms. Palmerston's government recognized the importance of education in fostering social progress and economic development. While comprehensive education reform was still in its infancy, efforts were made to expand access to elementary education, laying the groundwork for future advancements in the education system. Public health initiatives. The mid-19th century was a period marked by concerns about public health and sanitation. Palmerston's government took steps to address these issues, with the implementation of measures aimed at improving sanitation, public hygiene, and overall living conditions. These efforts contributed to the gradual improvement of public health standards in Britain. Social stability. Palmerston's leadership emphasized the importance of social stability and order. While not a radical reformer, he recognized the need for a balanced approach to address social issues and maintain cohesion within society. His policies aimed at preserving a sense of social harmony during a period of significant economic and social change. In examining Palmerston's domestic policies and reforms, it becomes evident that his leadership was characterized by a pragmatic and adaptive approach to the challenges of the time. The economic, social, and cultural impacts of his domestic agenda laid the groundwork for the continued evolution of British society in the latter half of the 19th century. Orsini Affair. One of the notable controversies during Palmerston's tenure was the Orsini Affair in 1858. Italian nationalist Felice Orsini attempted to assassinate Napoleon III, leading to strained relations between Britain and France. Palmerston's perceived support for Italian nationalists and lack of condemnation for the assassination attempt stirred controversy, prompting criticism both domestically and internationally. Foreign policy criticisms. Palmerston's assertive foreign policies, while successful in many respects, drew criticism from political opponents who accused him of imperialistic ambitions and unnecessarily risking conflict. Some saw his interventions in foreign affairs as overly interventionist, sparking debates about the appropriate role of Britain in global affairs. Public health and sanitation. While Palmerston's government took steps to address public health issues, there were controversies and criticisms related to the pace and effectiveness of these reforms. The burgeoning concerns about sanitation, living conditions, and the spread of diseases underscored the need for more comprehensive and rapid action. Diplomatic legacy. Lord Palmerston left an indelible mark on British foreign affairs during the mid-19th century. His pragmatic and assertive approach to diplomacy solidified Britain's position as a major global power. The successful resolution of the Crimean War, his navigation of the Orsini Affair, and the expansion of British influence in China were key milestones. Palmerston's emphasis on safeguarding British interests and maintaining a balance of power influenced subsequent generations of British statesmen. Promotion of free trade. Palmerston's commitment to free trade had a lasting impact on British economic policy. His advocacy for open markets and reduction of tariffs contributed to the growth of the British economy and set the stage for later economic reforms. The principles of free trade that he championed became integral to Britain's economic philosophy in the decades to come. Imperial stewardship. As the British Empire continued to expand, Palmerston's handling of colonial issues set precedents for imperial governance. While facing challenges like the Indian Mutiny, his administration laid the groundwork for the evolving role of the British Empire in the latter half of the 19th century. His emphasis on maintaining stability and British interests in colonies influenced subsequent imperial policies. In the annals of British political history, Lord Palmerston stands as a statesman who shaped the course of his era. His legacy is one of diplomatic acumen, economic foresight, and a dynamic leadership style that left a lasting imprint on British politics and foreign affairs. The echoes of his influence can be traced through the subsequent decades, influencing the evolution of British governance and international relations. Lord Palmerston's legacy endures as a statesman who left an indelible mark on Victorian Britain. His impact on foreign affairs, commitment to free trade, and dynamic leadership style set the stage for future leaders and shaped the course of British politics. Palmerston's legacy is particularly notable in the realms of diplomacy and realpolitik, where his pragmatic approach influenced subsequent generations of statesmen. His emphasis on free trade and economic liberalism laid the groundwork for the economic policies that would define Britain's role in the global economy for years to come. Palmerston's contributions to the expansion of the British Empire, while navigating diplomatic complexities, demonstrated a nuanced understanding of imperial governance. In conclusion, Lord Palmerston's contributions to Victorian Britain were multifaceted and impactful. His leadership during a transformative period in history showcased a statesman who navigated the challenges of the time with acumen and adaptability. Palmerston's enduring legacy lies in his ability to steer the ship of state through turbulent waters, leaving behind a Britain that was economically vibrant, diplomatically influential, and on the cusp of further social and political evolution. As we reflect on Palmerston's contributions, it becomes evident that his legacy extends beyond the confines of his time in office. His principles, whether in foreign affairs or economic policy, left an indelible imprint on the trajectory of the nation. Lord Palmerston stands as a towering figure in Victorian Britain, a leader whose vision and actions continue to resonate through the annals of history. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.